Hey there. So you're coming with me on a little walk, taking a break from my desk to soak up some sunshine. It's a beautiful day. Sun's out, sun's bright. Earlier I talked a little bit about a tool that I use to set the tone for the day, and that's morning affirmations, or what some people call waking affirmations. So I wanted to elaborate a little bit on how to employ that, and how I employ that, and how it's been most effective for me, because it started simple but then had to get a little bit more complex, as things usually do when you really start to focus on it. So what are affirmations? Affirmations are powerful, positive statements that you make to yourself. So it's self-talk, right? Self-pep talk. I talk a lot about kids, as we grow up as kids. Most of the time, the way that parents talk to their kids, and the way that really everyone in society talks to kids, becomes their inner voice, right? So whatever we're hearing regularly sort of becomes part of our internal mantra every day. And not everybody has, a lot of people don't have the benefit of having people in their lives that make those mantras, or help us make those mantras, those internal monologues that we have every day, positive ones, right? We hear a lot more no's than we hear yeses, and we hear a lot more you can'ts than we do you cans by default, because that's how people are programmed, based on the feedback they've been given throughout society, throughout their lives, and especially in early childhood, about any intention, right? So we grow up believing that we can't do anything, and then we project that onto other people, our own kids sometimes, right? Our own, regrets or monologue about how we are and who they then automatically become. And it's just, generational repetition. Well, my dad or my mom, not specifically mine, just as an example, my dad didn't become what he wanted to become, so he's going to tell me that I can't become what I want to become. It's repeated garbage, really, that needs to be thrown out. So we can actually change that. So affirmations is a really powerful way to unfuck yourself, excuse my language again, from that monologue, that programmed negative monologue that so many of us have as a default. And when I talked about it earlier, I talked about starting with simple stuff like, I am kind, I am beautiful, I am smart, I am whatever you want your I am to be. It could be anything you can think of that day, anything, usually the reverse. Like if I'm feeling insufficient, you can say, I am enough, I am deserving, I am perfect the way that I am right now, right? Like you can turn it around. You can do the opposite of whatever you're feeling down about. And those are simple affirmations, and they're effective in changing your frequencies because they're positive statements as opposed to negative statements. Usually when we get ready in the morning, we're like, oh, I am not something, right? So it's a powerful way to turn that into something positive. And so when we get a little older or more in depth into this whole affirmation game, like I have, I begin to realize that there's still, positive things to say, and it's great for the rewiring of the brain and to become a more positive person throughout the day. But we tell ourselves these false truths throughout the day. So if you're close to me, you know that what I'm going through right now, or what I'm dealing with, I have a challenge that I'm working to overcome. And it comes with a lot of uncertainty about how things are going to be in the future, how things are going to be tomorrow. And that uncertainty makes me create false thoughts, false ideas in my head that I can then dwell on and, have literally suck the energy out of me for the day. And that's what we want to avoid by doing this, right? So when you have a false idea and a false kind of story you're telling yourself based on something that isn't actually factually true, it can be really, really, really negative, and it can affect your day. So what you have to do is you can't go like, oh, I have this false idea about something, I have this thought that's really dragging me down, so I'm just going to tell myself I am beautiful or I am kind. When you really want to like get to the root cause and eliminate those false thoughts and things that are dragging you down, you have to identify what they are before you can apply an affirmation that can help you get out of that. So they have to be related, right? Like kind of like how I discipline my kids. It has to be related to what they're getting in trouble about. Otherwise, it logically doesn't make sense, and it won't fix it for tomorrow, or have a chance at fixing it for tomorrow anyway. So what I do is I write down, I sit down, I investigate what the thoughts are that I believe that are making me feel negative or upset or anxious, and I write them down. I say, okay, for example, something that's happening for me is an uncertainty that I'm not sure of. Oh, I will lose my kids. I will not see them as much as I want to, right? So that's a false belief. I don't know that's going to happen. I don't know that's how things go in the future, okay? So I'm telling myself that it's a fear-based, false idea that has the power to affect me negatively. So once I've written that down, now I can identify an affirmation that directly applies to that can help pull me out of that funk that this is causing, this false idea. I have to ask myself some questions. Is this actually true? No. Do I know what's going to happen? No. Can I fight for what I want? Yes. Can I, put my energy into spending every moment with my children the best way that I can? Yes. Okay, so now I'm hearing a lot of yeses, and now I'm looking at the upside. And now all of a sudden things are sunny side up again. So I can tell myself these affirmations. I am a good mother. I am nurturing. I am kind to my kids. I will see them as much as I possibly can. I will make the most of this time, right? Like, these are the affirmations that will result from doing this investigation. And it's been beneficial for me, but sometimes, like I said, the simple affirmations of I am, all these wonderful things, are not enough to permanently turn around these negative ideas that we keep spiraling into, like, habitually, right? So that's what I wanted to elaborate on, making these affirmations very specific and very powerful and very directly related to whatever it is that's plaguing you that day. So keep up the good work, okay? Thanks for tuning in. Bye.